we go. All right, how you guys doing? This is your man Bogy. So here we are in season 2, episode 26 of the CREW After Hours. So we got J.F.E.W, GB 24/7 Lou in the house. And 24/7 Lou got a very interesting question when it comes to 1980s horror movies. So 24/7 Lou, take it away, brother.
Yeah, like I was asking was, like, what do you think are the elements that make those movies in the 80s that were so popular? So popular. Like, it always has to be something with a nightmare, some weird creature, some aliens, some weird power. Because I remember, like, other movies before that, and they were more like terror, like a killer's coming for you or something like that.
Yeah.
But in these 80s movies, I'm noticing that it has to
more
be
supernatural.
something different. It has to be, like I said, an alien. I mean, yeah, there were murderers, of course, that we know, but they're like unkillable murderers. Like, what the hell's that? Like that's not normal stuff. It goes into like a sci-fi kind of a feel, as opposed to anything in the past where it was like more terror of a murderer coming out to get someone, or like even going further back to the black and whites of the Frankenstein or Dracula horror. But those 80s ones were different. Like, what do you guys think made it different?
To be honest with you, I mean, right now it's nostalgia, but I think besides that, they started introducing a lot of gore in certain ones, a lot of blood, murders. It was just like crazier because it was just more killing and everybody not knowing what's going on, and the fact that they're not just gross looking or something like that, and a lot of them were original. It wasn't just like, oh, it's a vampire, this and that. Like you said, there were a lot of different type of aliens. Besides aliens, you got critters.
All the creativity that was coming out.
Yeah, and then you have demons like in Hellraiser. You have demonic dolls like in Puppet Master and Child's Play. It was something different. And
so like if you were living your life trying to be scared of all these things, you're like, I can't go to the bathroom. I can't go to the pool. I can't go to the beach because a shark might try to kill me.
Piranha. They had him in the pool. The alligator.
Oh yeah, I can't piranha. I can't go to sleep because in my dreams, some guy's gonna try to chop me up.
Right.
I can't go to the forest.
You can't drive a car because Christina might take it over.
Yeah, it was like they were trying to get you everywhere.
You can't go to prom.
I think.
Oh yeah, you can't go to prom. So yeah, it was really interesting, and of course, and also I remember like a lot in the 80s, they made a lot of Stephen King movies, who was writing like crazy, so many books, which was like he helped feed like I think a lot of that stuff too, with all his books that were turned into movies.
Yeah, and even Twilight Zone, the movie, where they just took a bunch of stuff and put it together as an anthology. Peep Show did the same thing.
I think what makes the 80s horror movie stand out also is like the type of filmmaking that they were doing back then.
A lot of practical effects.
There wasn't CGI, and it was more like if they were gonna use something, they were gonna build a prop. They were gonna use like whatever they can make. If you're a big fan of horror, watch a little bit of Tom Savini. He was the king of horror. He still is the king of horror. He would use everything was props for him, and even to this day, he still uses the same thing because it just like I don't know, it makes it scarier. So I think back then that's what they needed to use, and it just made the movie just more natural on the screen.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, it's true. And like even wearing masks and stuff. Like I never was a fan of people wearing masks in horror movies. But yeah, I guess some people like that kind of stuff.
Like I remember back in the early 90s, I found out about a magazine. I think it was called Phantasmagoria or something.
Oh yeah, that magazine.
Yeah, you'll see that they made creatures that look scary or gross or really like you look at it, you crap your pants, man. It was nuts the way they pushed the envelope, and the different type of mythos and myths and stuff that come up with just to create a creature or a character or a group of villains or a group of demons or whatever, aliens. I mean, they just went all out because it's not just a guy with a mask on. It wasn't just a guy with a mask on like Leatherface or Michael Myers or something like that. These things were out to get you. They ate you. they literally ate you, ripped you apart, or did something to you, or took you over. I mean, compared to like zombies in the 50s, this was a lot creepier because they ate your brains. Yeah. And besides, in the future, after that, they started running after you. Now they carry guns and stuff. You're like, what's going on? But you know, but it's nuts. I mean, like Player One actually mentioned what was it called? Werewolf in London.
Oh yeah.
American Werewolf in London. You know, and just looking at his transformation, they had like 4 or 5 different shots with 4 or 5 different things, like with the fingers coming out, the bubbling in the face, the jaw coming up, and everything. All practical effects that they had to do, and it was just like I said, they just pushed the gore, the gross factor. And besides that, how scary it was, because that wasn't just like a wolf, a guy like all hairy. He was like a freaking huge ass wolf that was coming after you to rip you apart, and you literally see everything. Because in the past they just showed that was it. Now they everything inside, blood, guts, all that stuff. And I think that's what made it really popular in the 80s, because they were able to push the limit. Everybody kept going, oh, I want to do something like that, but I want to make it better. I want to make it gross. I want to make it scary. I want to make it gory. I want to do all this other stuff. And that's how it started up in the 80s that I know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the scary thing too, and you know what's so scary is like watching like Bogy eating ass right now.
What?
See it? He's like, yo, see? He's miming. It's pretty good.
I think if you look at him now and you turn him upside down and you see his ass, it's like the same shot. Oh.
What the heck?
So we went from monsters to my ass.
And it goes to the same
I think
thing.
it's eating your own ass, apparently.
What kind of show is this?
After Hours.
So yeah, that was my take. That was my question about the 80s.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And a great topic that GB had.
You know, there's the crazy thing about today's topic. We talked about Razor Ramon. We talked about Halloween. We talked about 80s horror movies, right?
Ass.
Your ass. And then now, this is the most craziest thing that I never
about lingerie football.
We talked about lingerie football. And now the craziest thing that I thought I'd never see on this show. We have right now 2 Marvel characters on the show live. We have Dr. Doom and we have Iron Man. Tony Stark.
Where's Iron Man?
Spider-Man.
Oh, that's Spider-Man. Okay.
No, I mean Tony Stark. Hey, Tony Stark.
Oh, over there, yes. Tony Stark.
Where?
You got the beat. You got the goatee. Right, Tony Stark.
Oh, okay. So let me know next time. I'll go ahead and paint that shit black.
Yeah. You got the little mohawk, the little fight.
Well, you were a little stressed out after you died in Endgame. You know, so we'll just leave it that way.
Bro, love
all
it.
Right. I appreciate that. All right. So actually, so let me share a little bit about what 24/7 Lou just shared about the question about what makes a horror character horror.
That movie's so popular in the 80s.
And popular. So we know the 1980s definitely took advantage of the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, whatever accumulated to that point, and came up with something that definitely was a big money maker. And we'll just go with the basics of the big 3, which was Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Those were the 80s franchises that just exploded on the scene. From then, of course, you got those type of franchises that are, considered, natural, and this is what horror is about. And when it comes to the 90s, we have so many other horror movie companies and directors and writers trying to come up with the next thing. But, some successful, some not so successful. So I definitely contribute a lot of what we understand as horror, especially with the 3 guys, all 4 of us here. You know, 1980s definitely set that, you know, the tone for great horror movies. And you know, we've experienced some, you know, great little, you know, stuff here in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, but definitely originated in 1980s. And you know, us over here, we're definitely a big, you know, one of those, uh, you know, type of, you know, movie goers that definitely took advantage of, you know, really seeing it from the very beginning. So great topic here, 24/7 Lou, for sharing this with us. And we're gonna go ahead and then finish this topic here. This
Yeah, I was
topic
gonna mention
with-
something real quick.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot in like 2000s, a lot of movies just started coming in with just either remakes or jump scares. Really, they were very handpicked. They were a little original. They were really good, and stuff like that, like The Relic stuff like things like that. But afterwards, it started getting better with story. Started getting better with some special effects and some unique ways of dying. I mean, come on, who hasn't seen Final Destination? You know. So
Right.
they did some good stuff, and then I've never really seen Scream, but people like Scream, and they came back with guys with masks again, but they did it a good way. It wasn't just they're just quiet, and then you see Saw series and stuff like that. Look at
Saw.
Blumhouse coming out with some good ones. There's one that
Saw
just
was
came
good.
out called X that I heard was pretty good. You know, these people are over here trying to film a porno, and somehow people are starting getting killed while they're doing it. And I heard it was pretty good. You know, and then you have like Jordan Peele, I think. He's doing all these movies. Now you got you know like what was that Get Out, and then now you have this new one coming out called Nope, which if you watch the trailer, it's really cool. And why is it called Nope? You know, it has aliens and stuff. And somebody said that it probably stands for not of planet Earth. So I mean, like that sounds cool. I was like, yo, now I really gotta watch this. And I think it has somebody was breaking it down, and I think it has something to do with horses. But yeah, man, you know, so it's getting different now. It hasn't been gory, but like very interesting, very like, what's going on? It's different, you know. It's just like we're going to a new genre of horror now, you know.
And that's important because 1980s, you know, set their standard. 1990s did whatever I guess 1980s was doing, but they were trying to set their standard.
Yeah.
2000s took what, you know, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s did to try to set their standard.
And with CG.
And then
with a lot of
CG has been introduced. So I definitely agree. You know, movies like Saw. You know, Saw definitely brings a new aspect to horror, and I've enjoyed the Saw movies. You know, because it's not using that 80s or 90s kind of nostalgia. You know, it's kind of coming up with something in its own and something new. So yeah. So let's hope that whatever comes next is going to be more original and not so much that it's, you know, it's going to be stuck on 80s or stuck on 90s jump scares and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, this was definitely a great topic. Thank you guys so much for sharing your thoughts, and I really enjoyed it. All right, so we're about to end this here, and thank you guys for tuning in here to Season 2, Episode 26 of the CREW After Hours. And the crew here is about to say, "Nuff said."
Right.